What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to IndieSoup Sneak Peek Week. I love the ring of Sneak Peek Week, as corny as it sounds. I like it. Go with it. I have here with me a wonderful, fantabulous individual who has a show on IndieSoup. She actually has segments in between shows, which you never know may turn into a full thing. This is Serena Wells. Serena, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and all of that.
But yeah, thank you for inviting me for an interview. I'm Serena Wills. I am a self published author, a poet, and spoken word artist. That's what you're mainly going to see on Indie Soup Media. I'm going to do segments. So you're going to learn about different forms of poetry during my segments. Going to actually share some poems and give y'all some tips and tricks on how to self-publish your books on a budget. That's always key. So I am originally a native New Yorker from Queens, New York. Shout out to New York. I live in the DMV area, which is affectionately known as the DMV, not Department of Motor Vehicles, the Washington, D.C. area. And yeah, so I can't wait to share all about poetry, writing. I have four books under my belt and many more to come. And I write also fiction, nonfiction, health and wellness writing, because I'm a health and wellness coach, on top of poetry.
That's a lot that you
That,
do, and
that's,
it
that's
all
some.
sounds great.
That's some of what I do. So,
So, who is this for?
who is this for? So, another thing I do is I actually conduct workshops. I have designed workshops and classes for people that want to learn about self publishing. Some people are highly intimidated to even think about self publishing. The first thing people think about is money. And they're like, oh, I don't have the money. I can't do it. I don't have the time. I can't do it. So, in my workshops that I host and have facilitated, I walk people through the process that it took me to now publish four books. And before the four books, I am published in several anthologies. So I learned from there first and just walk people through the process and kind of a hand holding process. And then there's another workshop. I have self publishing 101, which is the foundation, and I have self publishing 201, which is called the next steps. And that's when we talk about marketing, audiobooks, ghostwriting, you name it. So this is really for people who are interested in self publishing. It could be any kind of book, whether it's a children's book, poetry book, a cookbook, a photography book. You just want to learn the process. I've had people come to my classes that just want to learn. They're not writers or anything, but they're like, you know what? It's interesting because you never know. One day maybe I will self publish something. So let me come to your class and learn. So people are going to really learn about. It's going to be snippets and tips on Indie Soup. It's not going to be a whole all-out class yet. and and yeah, and those who enjoy poetry and spoken word, you're going to get some of that too as well during my segments. So it's really for anyone who is just wanting to learn.
Good deal. All right. So, when I was about to ask you further into this, what is self-publishing? So we talked about this, and I've actually taken your 101 class, which was
Hmm.
wonderful.
Yep.
But what do we mean when we say self-publish?
Yeah, so to self-publish, everybody's like, yeah, what is that? So we have the traditional publishing route. So those
Okay.
big time, you have the Simon and Schuster's, the Harper Collins, Doubleday, and the list goes on. And that's where you have to have like a literary agent, and they kind of move for you. A lot of the publishers, pretty much all of them, they don't take unsolicited work. So it has to be really through someone, an agent per se, and a route. They actually go through a process to say, yeah, we really want your book, we really like your book, or no, we're not feeling what you're writing next. So there is a process, there's rejections that come with that. And so with self-publishing, it's really on you. So you can either, there's actually companies out there that help self-publish, a few companies. There are small publishing companies as well that work with what we call indie authors, independent authors. So you are, of course, writing your own book. You do that anyway with a traditional publisher, but you are picking out your own editor. You get total control basically over your book versus someone telling you what to do, how to do it, how many books to sell, when to sell, where to sell. It's really on you. You are your own boss when it comes to publishing your book. So that's the big difference is self-publishing, you are your own boss, and publishing, you have to really work with a company, an entity, and really follow the rules. You have a contract with them and you want to keep up that contract so you can keep more
Hmm.
contracts coming. And sometimes the contracts can be very a lot of pressure and
Yeah.
a lot of stress depending on the writer. But self-publishing, you're on your own schedule. You write books when you want to write them. You release books when you want to release them, and it's really your show. So that's the beauty and the blessing of self-publishing.
So there's nobody telling you you cannot publish or we're not interested in your book. If you're interested, you can make it happen.
You can make it happen. The only ones that could tell you, oh, we're not going to carry your book, for example, are bookstores. And I even talk about that in classes,
Okay.
and I'll even share that in tips where there are just some where they're like, oh, we're just not going to carry your book. That's fine because there's thousands of other bookstores and virtual platforms that will. And that's what we
Mhm.
also talk about too, is having your own home on the web and not to fully rely on social media. It's a whole tip in itself. So
That's good. I was going to ask you for a tip, so that's good.
yes, that's a tip. Yeah, please get your, I call it your own home on the internet. That workshop I do, I actually have a doormat. It's like a welcome home doormat as a
Oh.
slide. And because it was that time, it was that snafu where stuff went down last year
Hmm.
and people were losing their minds because it was Instagram was down, Facebook was down, you name it. And at the end of the day, it's not
Personally, I
your
was
platform.
happy.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it
exactly.
was I got a lot done that day. I was like,
I
okay,
was
fine.
like, "Ooh, hallelujah!" It was
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. And for those who have websites, those who have newsletters, those who have ways of talking to their audience outside of social media, we were not at all stressed. We were like, okay, there's still a place where people could find me and talk to me.
So
So
that's good. But
yeah.
so let me ask you then, what is a platform that you use, like when that whole kerfuffle happened? What did you use, and what can you recommend to the viewers in terms of places that are alternatives to social media?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of other places. There's some platforms that didn't go down with all of that. So, for example, you have YouTube. So that was still up and running. I tell people to get familiar with YouTube Live. So there's a live option, and you can even pre-record and do a short 2 minute, 3 minute video, upload it to your channel, and that's another tip. Have a YouTube channel, so you could put it on your channel. You could put a video on your website. I have a blog actually on my website, serenawells.com, and folks can go to my blog or they can go to my homepage or, there's just that. So I tell people definitely have a website that is up to date, a functioning website as well, and newsletters. There is a power of newsletters and email campaigns. You can send out a blast on email. Hey, social media is down today. We have a deal going, by the way. You can go to my website and you can still direct people to your website. Or if you're like me, I'm published on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, and they can go there and buy books. So you want to have something to call your own where you can direct people to and ways to still communicate with people and to really explore different platforms that really will work best for you and go from there.
And go from there. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to
finally,
give too
so
much away.
don't let's not give too much away because people have to tune in order to watch.
Yeah.
What should people, I've been asking all of the creators this, what should people bring to your segments? besides
Mm,
themselves? What should
I know,
people
right?
bring to their what should people bring to your segments?
You want to take notes, especially when I am doing the segments on self-publishing tips. You want to take notes and also just bring an open mind and not to worry. That's the one thing I stress in my workshops and classes is that yes, when you are your own boss, you are an indie author, you're a self-published author, you're pretty much running the show. Even if you're working with a small indie publishing company, and we'll talk about that in my segments, you're still your own boss pretty much. You want to have an open mind and not worry. Put worry in the back seat because, like I said, people worry about money and time and other obstacles. Like, job could be stressful or this could be stressful. And we talk about ways to hold yourself accountable during that process. So just bring your mind, an open mind, bring a pad, a pen, however you take notes, and let's get to it and learn about self publishing.
Let's get to it. Absolutely. So you can actually experience Serena through Sneak Peek Week with this lovely interview, but you can also watch 6:15 on Tuesdays on all the different platforms that we're going to be on. We'll be launching this fall, so stay tuned. Serena, thank you so much. I
You're
can't wait to hear
welcome.
your segments.
Me too. Okay, so but thank you so much. I appreciate it, Tachi.
Absolutely. And we will see you all for more of Sneak Peek Week on Indie Soup's social media channels. We'll see you soon.